Let's go on this journey together. Welcome to the rBeatz Global Radio and Media Streaming Experience. Join us on Oui Talk Raw Radio with special guest, motivational speaker and prophetic minister Abdul Yakubu, hosted by the amazing Jennifer Busco. What makes continents is culture. What makes culture is people. And this one voice carries a message of courage, connection, and calling. From Nigeria to Russia and now Charlotte, North Carolina. Abdul Yakubu is a global voice for faith, purpose, and transformation. Get ready for a conversation that transcends borders. This is Oui Talk Raw, powered by rBeatz Global Boutique Radio and Media Streaming Network.
Welcome, everybody, to We Talk Raw. I'm your host today, Jennifer Busco. So excited to be here and have an enlightening conversation is what I think is going to happen.
Yep, it is.
So I'd like to welcome our guest, Abdul Yakubu.
Thank you
Why
so much.
is it that I want sushi every time I say your last name?
Because probably
Something's not adding up. Something's not adding up here, but now I want sushi. Abdul Yakubu, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having
So
me.
you are a motivational speaker, prophetic minister, and you were sharing with me before the show, you're a Black Russian, not a white Russian, which is my favorite drink. One of my favorite drinks. You're a Black Russian. Let's start there. What does that mean?
Yeah, awesome. I really appreciate you guys having me on the show. I always use the word Black Russian. And what that technically means, I'm Nigerian, born in Nigeria, grew up over 15 to 16 years, I counted out in Russia. So that's quite, that's a
What
handful.
ages were you when you were in Russia?
I was 21
Ooh, wow.
when I went to Russia.
Was that like for a parent's job, or was that something you were traveling to do? Or?
No, I was just traveling alone. This is
Wow.
just one of the things I got a revelation that I needed to go to Russia.
Wow. So quick
And that's it.
question. I'm not a geographical genius. Is Russia near Nigeria?
Oh,
Is
no.
it just north?
No,
Oh.
no. No,
Please
it's
edit that
not.
out.
No, it's not. It's not.
So you just got a revelation. You
Yeah, I had a revelation
heard
from
like
God.
an intuitive download hit.
It
something
wasn't
from.
I wouldn't say it was intuitive. I knew that I knew what I was hearing. So I was there. Lived in Russia for about 16 years. And
How
then
was
now
it
I'm
for
here.
you? Was it life changing? Did it?
Yeah.
I mean, was it like, okay, I knew this is why I was supposed to come?
No, it wasn't like that.
Oh.
It was
Was it
all
the other
like,
way, like challenges?
It's like,
and
oh, how I wish I never came here.
really?
Well,
But what did you
initially.
learn from it? I'm sure you learned something from
Oh,
it.
definitely. I think for me, it was more of an opportunity to grow up.
Oh,
Right?
wow.
Because, I mean, look at it, 21, coming to a new country. You don't understand the language, don't know the culture. So there's a lot of
I'm sure
groundbreaking.
politics are different, right? It's communist or
Well,
or is
yeah, kind of. It was different. Well, everything was different. So it was, but I really thank God that I had that opportunity because it made me grow and turn me into the man I am today. Yep.
Lovely. Isn't that funny how sometimes we have these revelations and we think it's going to be just a bowl of cherries. And then we do it. We're like, this is not what I signed up for. But then after, you're able to look back and be like, oh, universe or God, I get it.
That's it.
Okay. And then what? How did you get into this field?
Oh, okay, sweet. So, it's a long story, so I'll take you down to, my history. As a Nigerian, I grew up partly Muslim, and then my mom was a Catholic. I went to church, and gradually I'm just going to cut the story a little bit
So
short.
you weren't your mother's religion.
I wasn't.
Was that by choice on your part?
No, because if you get born into a family, you become, you adopt the religion of your father, which is
Not your mother.
No. It's always Pathano.
So your dad was Muslim.
My dad
So
was
did you
Muslim.
like pray 5 times a day?
I
Go
did.
to Mecca and all
I
that?
did. I didn't go to Mecca, but
You didn't
I
do
did.
the pilgrimage? Okay.
No, I didn't. I was still young. I was about 10 when I switched to Christianity, and I still remember it vividly. So I'll go to mosque in the mornings and all that, and then go to church in the evenings.
Wow.
So it was like that always.
Were there a lot of opposing and conflicting
Definitely,
beliefs and views?
definitely, they are two different separate things, entities. I'll put it that way. So it was, and so gradually now, growing up in that culture, growing up in that environment, it was a lot. You could see that, and then
Is it a strict sort of life that you have to live, or is that more for the women?
It was more for the women, I'll say that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and mind you, my dad was not really like a real Muslim. He was more of, just being it.
Right, that's
right?
like where,
Yeah, just being a Muslim, but never really adhering to anything. So at that time, I think there were different things happening in my country then, and different events, and I decided with my siblings that, hey, then we wouldn't want to be Muslims for some reasons, which I'm not going to share here.
Yeah.
And then we switched up to Christianity, became Catholics. But in the process of doing that, I got involved into voodoo.
Ooh, let's go there. Happy Halloween.
Okay. So I got involved into, I call it black magic and all that, which would also mean like, hey, chewing something, chanting something, really speaking out words that would force someone to do something they don't want to do. You kind of take over someone.
So it wasn't super like the real, what we think voodoo is, like that.
So it is very subjective to what people think voodoo is.
That's what I'm like. I'm sure there's myths around what it really is. And because can you do voodoo for good as well? Or is that just praying?
I personally do not believe I can do voodoo for good. Because anything that comes, this is my subjective opinion, anything that comes out of something that I feel is not good cannot provide anything good at the end result.
So voodoo is when you're trying to get someone to do something?
No. Voodoo is using black magic to conjure people, territory, countries,
like
lives,
sickness, like
anything. Yeah, anything.
So you just did it for fun. You're like, ooh, this sounds interesting.
I did it because I had a lot of inferiority complex growing up. So I wanted to be able to
It's kind of like you're in LA and you're on the streets in a gang. You were a voodoo dude.
Something like that. Well, it was more about using it for my own personal goods. So that would be
Did it really work?
It did. To date a girl who didn't like you, you could just talk to her and she's numb.
So you made the girl like you. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Wow.
So it's more like, it was, the love charm and all that. And then aside that, there are deep ones that can go into money. There are a lot.
How did you learn it? Just from your culture? I
didn't learn it. I went to someone, we call them the Babalaos. Babalaos is more like a witch doctor.
Wow.
Who would enchant that and give it to you. So I personally did not practice it, but I used the services from a witch doctor.
So did you have to pay this person? Or do you do like, okay.
You got to pay. Nothing comes for free.
Dang.
I remember one time.
This is in Nigeria.
Oh yeah, this is Nigeria.
And when you say Nigeria, is it like urban, rural? Like what part? Is it like third world? Like.
Well, so again, there are
parts
that are either looking very third world or really, top notch. I lived in the city, so I never lived.
What city?
I lived in Mina.
Okay.
Mina is very close to Abuja, which is the capital.
Okay.
So that's where I lived. And I remember one time my mom, she lost money at home. My mom was into business, and we were looking for. This is what really drove me into understanding what we're going to talk about today. So she lost money, and she was looking for who stole it. There were a bunch of kids at home. She took us to someone like the witch doctor, and he sat down and looked at us and did some stuff. And he really found out who took the money.
He just said you, Paul.
No, he'd have each and every one of us in, and then he had some things around, some instruments, some kind of physical representation of what he wants to look for.
Dang. And like maybe it's a frequency if someone's lying, like you can feel like a tuning fork,
It could be
something like that where your energy gets smaller if you're lying or something.
Maybe not.
Okay,
I don't know.
Carry on.
You were really giving it a very logical word. To me, it was like he did some magic.
Dang.
Right? And then he really figured out who took it, why they took it, and they knew they did it, and they said that yes, we did.
They had to admit it.
They had to admit it, and then they brought money back. So when that happened, I was very interested about it because being a Christian, as at that time, I'd never seen any pastor or priest who would do that. I'm like, wow, okay, if this witch doctor could do that.
The power, right?
Then what then can I do as a person who believes in God? And I'm like, okay, that's interesting. And that's when I started really finding it interesting. But growing up as a kid, for some reasons, people call it deja vu, but not really. I could see someone really either dying, but they're alive. I see that they
So
will die
you can see
tomorrow.
when it's going to happen.
Yeah,
so
I
see
can
the
see
future.
what's going to happen. I could foresee the future. And then it was
Would you tell the person, or was it?
I didn't know what was happening to me as a
confusing?
kid then. You know, this was, I was 12, 13. I never knew what was happening.
Wow.
I could see things happen. Things that would happen in the future, things that happened in the past, but I never knew what that was. At first, I thought it was more of, that's scary. I didn't want to say it out because if I said it, it would really sound awkward, and I might have been branded as a voodoo witch doctor. and all
Yeah,
that
on your
stuff.
own. Yeah.
So I didn't want to get into that. But later on, when I encountered Christ, I understood what that was and really had an understanding of what it was. And since then, I've been in that kind of ministry.
In the sense of, this is not doing good for my society, my collective, and probably even your own personal path, right? Doing the voodoo.
I didn't, like I said, it for me, this is my own approach. I don't think that voodoo has any necessarily a good repercussion to my community.
Right.
That's my objective opinion. But it could be different for others, which is fine.
Okay. And then, so how did you sort of flip-flop into the good that you're doing now?
So what I classify as the good is, I've always wondered if people have these powers, like if you live in Africa, it's crazy. There are things that people talk about, like, a person turning into an animal.
Cool. Without psychedelics. Wow.
Well, yeah. That's what you call it, right? What did you call it again?
Psychedelics?
Oh, yeah. Okay,
I'm saying,
fine.
if you're, nothing's altering your mind and you're seeing a person turn into an animal.
Yeah, without that. Like, right?
Wow.
I mean, you don't see it turn, but it is that person. You don't physically see it. There's no physical manifestation of that. But I mean, seeing someone like an animal talk to you like a person with a voice you recognize, like, I'm not hallucinating. I'm not crazy. Like, I know it's real.
So is that because of your gifts? You can talk to animals?
No, with that, you don't even have to have gifts. I've seen evil spirit cast out of people, that a kid who is like 9 years old and he's speaking like an adult man. Or then while they're praying for him, you got ravens just knocking off the window of the door, or of the room, or pictures just falling off everywhere, and their eyes change and they use a different voice.
I mean, here's the thing: there is dark out there.
Oh yeah.
So, and it does need to be dealt with.
Oh yeah. 100%.
You know what I mean? It's not all light and love. So I think there is a place for, like you're saying, like pulling out a darkness of someone, or a dark energy or dark entity. And I'm just now starting to play with that in my healing sessions.
Okay.
Because my teacher's like, you need to recognize the darkness, right? And that, it might not be an emotional block. It can actually be like a dark entity. And I mean, it's a part of life.
It is, so from my understanding, we live in a world on earth here that has principalities and powers that conjure, control things. So it depends on who and where you stand, what can really affect you and take hold of your body.
Right.
Some people lose control over their physical body, not just the spiritual realm, right? So I've seen that growing up, it really brought up questions like, how is this happening? So my question is, who can or who has the authority and power over all of this? I saw my cousin coughing out and vomiting rings, jewelries.
Out of his mouth?
Yes. And how is this even happening? And not just me alone, we have all, people doing it. You're seeing that. Or same cousin slept at night and there was an out of spirit encounter where his spirit left his body. And then while we were sleeping all together in a room, and we kind of misplaced the way he was sleeping. So he was sleeping this way, let's say, right now. We just placed his hand, there was a misplacement of his body. But when his spirit came back to get into the body, it couldn't, because it wasn't in the same position he left.
Weird.
And then it was more like a tornado in the room.
You could feel it.
Where
do you think the spirit went?
Huh?
Where do you think the spirit went?
Well, so there's a theory that, this is a very African theory, and I believe it's true. There's a theory that...
I love your face right now.
Because I'm trying to say something.
Just say it.
I'm trying to say something that might maybe out of like, oh, okay.
It's okay.
So, there are spiritual gatherings in the spiritual territory, mostly at night, because that's
What's the word you just used?
Spiritual territory.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah. That have authority over the night.
Like the dark night.
Yeah, like the dark night.
Right. Mm-hmm.
So at night is always a good time for the principalities and powers to operate, because most people are asleep at night. And when you are asleep at night, your soul and spirit is dormant. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And that's a time to really do whatever.
Hop in someone's body if you're dark. Mm-hmm.
You know? So when I saw that happen, I was very intrigued. If this person, I saw a pastor pray for him and he casted out all of that, and the person would wake up like, oh, what happened? Like he was out of body. So that was very interesting. All of that, growing up, seeing that around me, not a hearsay.
And it's just normal. So your city was very spiritual or connected to energies. And
my country is very spiritual. And this has to do with our background. This has to do with our history.
Ooh.
Right. The history and background of Nigeria as a nation, it has to do with all of that. So that is why if you meet anyone from Africa, I would say West Africa, because that's where Nigeria is, you will definitely have encountered either them or somebody in the family or the fourth, fifth generation was into witchcraft or had some encounter.
Do you want to tell us why that is? Like, is there history in Nigeria of why?
Yeah. So before the British came, or well, before the Spaniards came, before the colonial era, every tribe had what we call today a priest, right? Either a chief priest or a priest that was into black magic, because that was the only connection they had with the supernatural. So now, before the introduction of the Europeans that brought Christianity, or then the Arabs that brought Islam, they had that path of life, that way of life, having different gods, believing in different gods, believing in voodoo, believing in white, black magic, and all that. So now that history still is in the country, still in the land, is in the territory, and they have territorial powers over the country.
Got it. So do you believe, like, in sort of like attracts like, if people are playing with the darkness and black magic, it might be a way for darkness to go to Nigeria?
So there's darkness everywhere.
I agree.
Regardless
inside of us, outside of us. Am I right?
Yeah. Now, if we're talking about the territorial authorities, regardless of where you're located at.
Yeah, tell us about that. What do you mean by that?
What I mean by that.
So, certain locations have certain energies.
Certain locations have certain energies, depending on the history of that location.
Right. Well, especially the land, too. Like, like I can clear energy of a land, but if the land's not cleared and stuff has happened, like Charleston, right? It's the energy is going to be there.
So let's look at Charleston and Charlotte. I think we'll talk about that briefly. The 1600s to the 1800s, when the Germans, the first settlers came in, right?
Charleston.
And then, Charleston, when they came in first thing, they came and met a group of people who were there, and you know all the whole history about that. And then we have either slavery came in there, a lot of dirt came in there, people died and all that. Now that has created, that has created created a new territorial authority, in the sense that there are spirits still hovering around Charleston. That's why probably if you're listening, you're driving into Charleston, something begins to happen with your body. Why?
Like the chills, or something heavy, or
your head. It's heavy. You can feel your head start hurting you, and that's because you're entering into a territory that has a spiritual authority that has a great significant impact.
So by authority, you mean it's like a collection of energy that creates a overall feeling of something.
We can use the word energy to kind of give it a layman's knowledge or understanding, but every place you go to has an energy. Just to meet person. When I met you, oh yeah, I can feel your energy.
Oh, really?
Okay, that's good.
This whole thing? Do you like it?
I like it. Kind of. And that's why you meet people sometimes like, oh my God, it's nice to see you. Because there's a reflection of what they carry.
Right.
Right? So the same thing that happens with cities.
So let's talk about Charlotte. Like what? Yeah.
Perfect. So I think the first time I came to Charlotte was in 2012, thereabout.
Okay. 13 years ago.
Yeah, 2012, 13-ish, thereabout. When I came to Charlotte, it was interesting. There was a heaviness in me. I could feel it.
Really?
Yeah, there was a heaviness in my spirit. And then I began to hear different noises and sounds around. But what I really held on to, there was a spirit of disunity.
Disunity.
Yes. There's a spirit that doesn't want people to be united. And now I can say this for almost every city, every town in America or abroad, right? I can say that.
So what would cause that? Or what's the root?
Because I think the revelation I believe God has given me about that is because of the historical collections that have been here.
Different, like the melting pots.
Yes.
That makes
everything
sense. A lot of Northerners come down, and Florida people come up.
So that has created, and then we look at the history of Charlotte. Before even the Englishmen came in, so all of that there's a how do I put it? A word I would use this is like entitlement. Something that I own has not been given to me. That is what I feel.
The energy.
Yeah, the energy.
I feel like as a result, there feels like there's a lot of conformity or something. It feels like people are just kind of doing what they think they're supposed to in ways.
It could be. That's a good explanation.
And not everybody. I don't mean to offend or anything.
Yeah, well,
but that's just what I'm kind of hearing. Yeah.
And by the way, just a disclaimer: whatever I say it could be subjective.
Yes.
Because that's what I think. And
throw out what doesn't
make
resonate with you.
Okay.
No, yeah.
That doesn't make it true.
Exactly.
That doesn't make it accurate.
It's a conversation to pique people's ears, right? Yeah.
And maybe it might just be a confirmation. Oh, okay, yeah, I felt that way.
Yeah.
So in Charlotte, what I feel in Charlotte, it's like when I walk on the street, especially in downtown. What I feel is somebody owes me something and I'm ready to do anything to get it back.
Wow.
So when I was meditating upon that, why do I feel that? Like in Charleston, I don't feel that. It's a different thing in Charleston. In Asheville, oh my gosh, I don't feel that. It's a different thing in Asheville.
What do you feel in Asheville?
Asheville is like there's a power drag.
A power drag.
Yeah, there's a fighting for authority, fighting to have the say over the spiritual realm in Asheville.
Interesting.
Right.
What about New York City?
Oh, okay. I was in Coney Island lately, and well, that is interesting because in New York City, I see or I feel there's a lot of dreams that have been buried. People had dreams before New York became New York. It was never snatched, but it was buried. It's like I gave up.
Wow.
I gave up of my dreams. I just want to take on this new identity. And if you look at New Yorkers, mostly who come into New York, everybody wants to act like a New Yorker. Because when people come into New York, they give up their dreams. Because that's the spirit over there. You give up the dreams and take whatever the city, the people, or whatever has to offer.
Kind of eats them up.
Just, and then you're in a circle.
So what about Coney Island?
Coney Island was interesting because it was, what I felt with Coney Island, it was a land of provision. It was a land of provision. What I mean by that, because if you look at the history, we had the Germans who came to Coney Island when it was, I think it was Coney Island, they call it because Coney comes from rabbits. It was a land of provision. But right now, the provision is not there, and people are asking, where is the provision? So there's more of a question. There's more of like a kind of an attitude of like asking questions. Where is this? Where is that? It's more of an entitlement, but not like the one in Charlotte.
Interesting. Like maybe uneasiness?
Uneasiness would be a word to describe that. It could also be, hey, like I need it, but I don't have it. So it's more of a question mark. Where is it?
Interesting.
I need to look for it. Because Coney Island, I believe, was designed by God to be a land of provision. Like Canaan would be a land of milk and honey. Coney Island was designed to be a land of provision, to provide for people.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So how did you get into the ministry part? Let's talk about that.
Okay.
Yeah. We're kind of switching gears.
So I think when you asked me why did I go to Russia, one day I was praying, and I'm gonna use words now that if you're not Christian, it might not really resonate with you, and that's fine. And God told me that He had a vision and a mission for my life. Okay, that's great. What are we doing? You're going to a country, a land that they don't speak English. You don't know the language, but that is where I'm sending you to. After, by the way, 10 years into that country, I will move you to a different country. And I'm like, okay. So I got in Russia, but before I went to Russia, I was in the ministry already, but not in the prophetic ministry.
In Nigeria.
In Nigeria. I was just in Nigeria, it's either you go to church, you believe in God.
So for Christianity.
For Christianity, you go to church. If you're Muslim, you go to mosque and you are religious, or you are not. There's no middle. There's no gray land now.
So is there like a training or a certification for becoming a prophetic minister?
There are, but there are things that have been assigned by man, and there are things assigned by God.
Got it. Interesting.
So there are schools, there are trainings, there are that, to be a prophetic minister, which is great. And I like that. But if you do not have the calling, there's no amount of training you would have that would make you that. It's not about the name. It's about the authority that you carry.
Right. Wow.
And that is given either by birth or by the paternal line of your family.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
Or as Christians would say, at baptism.
Wow. Well, we're going to talk more about this right after our break. So we'll be right back after a word from our sponsors.
Hey there, welcome to the Watch List, presented by DJ rBeatz, hosted by me, Greasy Keys, in the rBeatz VIP suite. We bring you the best of the best, live shows, streaming trends, and indie pop, and much more. You can stream now on the all-new ROQ radio on rBeatz.com, highlighting indie artists from all over the world. Focusing now on hashtag local music somewhere, hashtag Charlotte. This month, we have artists that have earned cross-pollination into more than one stream, and we are proud to announce all the streams that our favorite artists have dropped on. Check it out right here on the rBeatz Radio, Global Boutique Streaming and Media Network. Now, let's celebrate these incredible artists. Starting off with Zach Robbins and his song, The Day That You Deserve. The incredible Foreign Air with their song, Maniac. The reggae vibes of Treehouse with their song, Genuine Love. Alina Rogers with her song, 9 Lives. My buddy Justin Clyde Williams with his tune, No Demise. The incredible Keith Allen Circus with It's All Love. And Alex Harris featuring Kanya Das with their song, Better. Now, all the way from Africa on the We Global Radio, we have the Jazz Hop Cooker with African Voices. Kobe Deer with I Won't Lie. Halen Frost with Indiezer Leer, from Belgium, by the way. Vio Flesh with Within the Veil. King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard with Eyes Like the Sky. Miley Taylor with West Coast and their song Slip. Abrilia with Moulama. This has been Greasy Keys in the rBeatz VIP suite. Be sure to check out all these amazing artists and be on the lookout for the next edition of the Watch List presented by rBeatz. Peace.
And we're back. Welcome back, everybody, to We Talk Raw. So this topic that we're talking about is really wide, really vast. And so we would love for any viewers, if you have any questions, to go to YouTube, if you're watching it on YouTube, and just go into the little chat box and chat a question. Because again, we're just having a conversation. So if these things don't resonate with you, throw them out. If they do and you get curious, pop a question in the chat, because we're kind of going all over the board, and we're going in places that we've never been to before, I believe, on rBeatz Radio.
And regardless to what you identify as a Christian, a Muslim, or non-believer, that's fine.
Yep. And so we really, we would love for you to ask some questions in the chat box. So as we continue on with the show, if I see a question on the monitor, I'll know it's you. So let's get back to the prophetic ministry part.
Yeah, so I think we stopped up over where we're talking about how I got into the ministry. First of all, I think it's a call. I believe it's a calling. I like to use the word I think because I want to create a safe atmosphere. But sometimes when I say I think, it doesn't mean I'm thinking. Like I know.
Got it.
I believe it's a calling, first of all.
Do you think you had it since birth, this calling?
I believe I had it since birth, but it came out so in the Christian realm or in Christianity, we believe if when you have a calling, you'd have someone who would mentor you or activate the calling. Most callings need to be activated. I personally believe that everyone on earth has a calling, has a spiritual gift, regardless of what it is.
Or has the free will and talent or intention that they can open it up, right?
They could open up what is given to them.
Interesting.
And it doesn't mean we don't have a choice. The only gift, from a Christian perspective, the only gift you can desire to have above every other thing is the prophetic gift and the gift to love. Which actually you should desire to have the gift of love. Because honestly, love is not easy. It's a gift.
Really? So when you say prophetic, do you mean like you see the future?
So when we talk about prophetic from a Christian perspective, it means three things. First of all, having a direct connection with God. When I say direct, because there are some people who have, kind of a middleman.
Because if you're alive, you're connected to God, right? In my field, the crown chakra is always on if you're alive. You're always connected.
I love that. I love that explanation, right? So there's a connection with God. You hear from him. He speaks to you, right? Prophetic ministry means he tells you about the future.
Do you hear audible? Do you feel it? Are you clairaudient? How do you hear it?
So I personally hear in three different ways. Audible, test. I can test it on my lips. I can test it like a test.
Like a muscle test,
yeah,
almost.
No, not a muscle test. Well, is a memory test on my tongue.
So you touch it? You tap it? Or what do you
I just test it.
test it to see if it's
I feel the taste
of what he's trying to say? Whoa, that's deep.
And then I can smell it.
Again, we're open for questions because I have a lot of questions.
And then I can smell it.
So you can smell what he's trying to say to you. So
I can smell what's happening. Know what he's trying to say comes to my heart. I'm connected that way. But he draws my attention to what's happening, not only by what I see, I can smell it.
Do you sense anything right now?
Right now?
Yeah, like what's happening, or do you get any what's the word? Any hunches when like the hurricane's coming, or when there's like big weather things? Do you get a?
Funny enough, now that's where we want to talk about territory. Again, we get there somewhere somehow. So if God has given you the authority over a nation, you would feel and know what's happening. I know we're not going to talk politics. But even from political things that happen, I felt them before they happened.
Interesting.
Now, for people, it's easy because you can, if you get into a close proximity with someone and God wants to reveal something about that person, he will.
And that's up for you to discern if you share that with them.
That's
right?
up
Because they
for
have
you
their
to
own
discern.
journeys and their own, right.
And that comes with a culture because you build a culture around the prophetic ministry, right? Because most times, I'll give you a story, right? We got time for a story?
We got time for a story.
So I was in Belarus. I don't know if you know the
Where
country
is that?
Belarus.
Is
Belarus
it in
is
Africa?
it's a neighboring country to Russia.
Okay.
Okay, it's in the Euro-Asia. And I was ministering, and right in the ministry, there was a young lady that was there in the hall. And I could tell you there were things around her, and there was a stunned smell. It was stinking. Now, it was not a physical smell, but it was a spiritual representation of what was happening in her. So I went close by, and I'm like, okay, yeah, I feel it. Now, I was preaching, and there were the demonic, occurrence just happening around her.
Oof.
So after the ministry, I walked up to her, and the only thing I could say, can you think a little bit quieter? Because you think too loud. It was about what was going on in her mind while she was there. And when she said, kind of denying, she doesn't understand what it's, and I was explaining what was happening to her. I'm not going to explain, say that out. There's really some really crazy stuff happening in her life that the demonic took over her body. She had no control of what she was doing.
Do you know how to clear it?
Yeah.
Okay.
She could wake up somewhere and it's not a medical. There's no medical explanation for that. I know people who are medicine were like, oh well, we can, and that's fine, and
But
that's
it can
good.
cause you to be ill if you have dark stuff around you. You can get depressed. You can get sick.
That's all.
Your
all
physical
of that
body
is
can
connected.
respond. Yeah.
I want to make this clear that whatever you're feeling, if it's a sickness, whatever it is, it's just a physical representation of what's happening inside.
Right.
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 And so, and I asked, do you need help?
I think that's a good way to do it.
Yeah, because
Instead of imposing what you're
and this
seeing
comes
on her.
from the culture, because I can't walk up to her and say, "Thus says the Lord, you are this and that and that." That is not a culture of honor, respect, and love.
And even in my field, like if I feel something in the grocery store or see a dead person, I won't go up to that person. It's a respect of their spirit, and maybe they don't want to know that their dead mom wants them to buy the cherries or whatever, you know. So in my field, it's like you don't impose on someone's spirit unless what we're taught is you can ask their higher self, can I read this person? You know, do they want to know?
You can ask the higher self of whom?
Of the person that you're about to read, or
Okay.
you know, or ask if they want to be approached, you know. But yeah, we're taught really not to. But if you were in a church situation, I could see that being more welcome.
Honestly, I am not a typical church minister. Most of my ministry is outside the church,
Interesting. Where is it?
on the street, with people
Wow.
in the secular world.
Wow.
That's where most of my ministry is. I love to preach at the church. I love to minister at the church, but most times it's outside the church. So going back to the story, I'm like, yeah, and I prayed for her. So when you say cleanse, we say a deliverance.
Interesting.
It's a spiritual deliverance. I just prayed for her and spoke to that spiritual authority over her that has, engulfed her whole life. And I just told her to leave. And when she was free of it, her facial countenance changed. Wow. It's like, and the smell left. Now, this is just one of the stories, right? So you can do that when it comes to people one-on-one. But when it comes to a territory, God has to tell you or give you the authority to do that.
Interesting.
If he doesn't, then he's not with you. And if God is not with you, dang. Like, you don't want to go there.
So you don't believe that God is with everybody, or in the way that you're referring
God
to?
is with everybody, but God has given you a measure of faith, strength, power, and authority. So it's like, put it this way. I weigh 245, okay? If my son, who weighs about 70, would go to a bench press with 300 pounds, that's too much for him. So you cut your coat or you cut your suit according to your size, even in the spiritual realm. But then you have to know what is given to you, what authority you have. Because from a Christian point of view, the Spirit of God shares or gives the gift accordingly as God wishes. But then God will tell you what your limit is.
Interesting.
So and when I say God gives you the limit, you are limitless, but the only thing that limits you is your ability to grow up into what you want to go into. Make sense? You want me to go deeper here a little?
Yeah, go a little deeper.
Okay. So let's say this. This conversation we're having right now, 10 years ago, I wouldn't have, because I wasn't mature enough to have this conversation. 10, 15 years ago, I wasn't matured because I haven't grown up yet. I wasn't matured spiritually. I wasn't matured physically. I wasn't matured mentally. I couldn't have a normal conversation with somebody who probably is not a Christian.
Wow.
Which by then,
So there's a little judgment in there.
It could be that was judgment. It could be like, oh man, you need to become a Christian. No, that's not it, because I wasn't matured enough. But today, I have conversation with all kinds of people because I've grown to a certain stage. Now, when you grow to that stage, God increases the power and authority you have.
It's like a muscle, right? You kind of get stronger
because
and
you
stronger.
get stronger. And from a Christian point of view, it's not about the power or the authority. The main thing here is about just to reveal God as a God of love to people. Every other thing we're talking about, prophetic gifts, other gifts, are just instrument to demonstrate that he's a loving father. And that's it. So, I'm not focused on my prophetic ministry as my identity. I'm focused on my identity as a child of God and carries the authority of the Father wherever I go. I know that sounds very Christian, but yeah.
That's okay. We love it. So can you sense or feel as a collective where we're going when there's a big shift in the world and as human beings with your gifts?
I don't have authority for over the world, but certain places I have authority over, I can speak about.
Interesting.
Okay?
Like cities, locations?
Like cities and location. So let's take America. And one of the reasons why God brought me into America, and by the way, when I said Russia 10 years, he was going to 10 years, right? 10 years in Russia, I was invited to preach in America.
Ooh.
Right there. And then about 7-8 years, then I relocated over to America. So long story short, I feel that America is going through, and it is not politics whatsoever, but I feel like America is going through a season of purging. Yeah, but it's spiritual. I feel like there's a spiritual awakening coming into America that will make people, like the eyes of the minds of people will be open.
Agree.
To see what is really happening, because we are so focused on the physical representation. I've been using that word today. We are so focused in the physical representation of what we have, but there's more into it. So my belief is God is just bringing America as a nation back to understanding there's more than this physical realm we're living in.
Amen. I agree.
Just to see and understand. Then you decide.
And I think we are waking up, right? If you want to use that term. And I also have noticed and feel that some people are choosing to not be a part of it. Like I feel like there are a lot of people choosing to leave their bodies and go to heaven.
But you see,
I see it all over like social media and Facebook. I'm like, oh my gosh, I think some people are just choosing to not be a part of this, or maybe they want to come back into a different human body.
Well,
do you feel that?
But reincarnation, it's a whole different story on that. I wouldn't want to go into that direction. But going back into people who choose or not to, the thing is, the truth of the matter is you have nothing to choose because you don't know the alternative.
Well, I think their spirits kind of choose, right?
They just know one.
Not the conscious human, but I think their soul is like, yeah, we're ready to go. Yeah.
So many people have been driven in the subconsciousness by the spirit that is over them. And as much as I don't want this to sound very spiritualized, but we are spiritual beings in a human body.
Yes, amen. Agree.
So I think it's just wise enough to understand. If I understand my body, I go to the gym, I walk out, I eat healthy, and that's great. That's the physical body. How about the spiritual body? So there's an awakening going on, and it's loud, and it's going to be loud. That's what I feel,
And I don't think it's going to be easy, right? It's not going to be.
Nah.
Yeah.
It's not going to be easy as people might want. And then we in America, we are so used to getting everything easy, which is part of the culture, that has been created. And it was good for a certain time. We need to understand the seasons we live in.
Like industrialization. It was great that we learned how to put tomatoes in cans, and all of these things like faster and, they lasted longer on the shelves. But yeah, we don't really need that energy anymore.
We need to be able to be flexible.
Right.
To move and navigate from one to another. But we are rigid. Like, I know this and that's it. And probably that is good in some different aspects, but not everywhere. Yep.
Interesting. So how do you balance being prophetic and practical?
First of all, I think I put the most important part of it all. I don't really focus on prophetic, although I am. I focus on carrying the energy of love, but not of the world, as everybody knows, but the love that I believe is from God. And what does that mean? Don't judge people. See good in people. Be able to correct people with love.
That's pretty practical, right?
So yeah, and I respect people, respect the boundaries. I do really respect people. I try to.
Well, I think they all have their own paths. Like I said before, I think it's, you don't want to impede on someone's path, or maybe they're not meant to learn or grow or get rid of that darkness. It's almost like, who are we to say that we need to tell someone there's a ghost in their house?
That's right. But if you know the alternative, you go for the better.
Interesting.
I'll put it that way.
Of how the power of darkness.
Yes. You don't know how, it's like cancer. You don't know how much is eating you. Not until you know how much is eating you.
So how do you stay humble and grounded when people look at you as a spiritual authority?
First of all, I do not identify publicly that I'm a prophetic minister.
Interesting. So you don't go in a church?
I go to church.
Do you speak it? Like, are you doing sermons? Or
when I was in Russia, I do that a lot. Now in America, I do that. Not a lot.
Not in an organized religion kind of way.
Well, I do. I speak at churches. I do have conversation with people. I think more of all, I identify myself as just someone who is someone who is replicating the goodness of Christ.
And is this what you do for a living in this field?
No, actually, I have a usual job. I'm into logistics.
Okay.
And, yeah.
That's a great balance.
Yeah. So, and I have the opportunity to see that always, to either the way I talk to people, the way I interact with people, what we talk about, what we don't talk about, how to have just a casual.
So in your everyday life, how does this infiltrate? Like, you talk to strangers on the street. Do you have like meetups? Do you write, essays or books, or you do public speaking?
I do public
motivational speaking. So talk to us about that. Like, how do you get the word out about what you're doing? So
what I do, apart from logistics, and we're talking about motivational speaking, I do have people who come around and like, hey, I heard you spoke about this. Either they saw me on a show. So I do a lot of online shows, online podcasts, something like this. Yeah, I heard you talk about this. I have a question. How can we do this? Now, in the midst of that conversation, hey, is that okay if I share something with you, what I see? Yes. And
get the permission.
And then we get in there, right?
Do you do like sessions or like coaching, or is this part of?
I do coaching. I do sessions, but yeah, I do. I'll put it that way, yes. There's a but there, but I do.
Wow.
You want me to clear what the but is?
Sure.
Okay. It depends on what you really need, because most times people are like, well, man, I want that gift. I don't give a gift.
You don't do activations or help people open up?
If you have the gift, I could do that. But I think the most important part of it is for you to understand the culture of love. So if when someone who is called, and the funniest thing is, if somebody's called in the prophetic ministry, you can see it. It's right lit on the forehead.
Wow.
You can see what gift everybody has.
Do you see it with your, like, how do you see your spiritual gifts? So you do the tongue? Do you see with your
I just see it written. Like on you right now, I see it.
You see it on me? Mm-hmm. Wow.
So, let me tell you what I see about you.
Sure.
Maybe something like, so, I've been talking to you on phone.
Yeah, we've done 2 phone calls.
We've done 2 phone calls, which is interesting. I kind of had an idea of, I did not look you up online.
Oh, you said that?
Yeah, I did it because I didn't want to. I didn't want to. I wanted to have the impression.
I love that.
So when I came in here, I saw you. I saw 2 angels around you. Well, I can call them wings, right?
Ooh.
But they are organized. And I'll explain what that means.
Yeah.
I'm going through the whole process right just to give you an idea, okay? Your wings are organized. You know how to tell them to fly or not to fly, right?
Ooh.
But then you're very picky. I see you've been very picky in almost practically everything. But at the same time, no one would know that you are picky. You have
Give me an example on like spirituality or just in general?
In general.
Yeah.
So for me, there's no difference. For me, there's no difference between the spirituality and not. Like,
I know, I can see that. Mm-hmm.
You are one. But you have a very good way of putting it out. And it's not pushy. I would say you've done a very great job in communication.
Yes, my throat chakra is pretty big.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's like, did you call it the third what? Chakra?
Throat chakra, like the energy.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. That's cool. That's a new one.
Yeah.
But you've done a very great job in communication and reaching out people. I see also that you have that wheel of helping, which is great. But a couple of times it's either you've been burned or you understand that, okay, I would learn not to help, not because I don't want to, but because I don't need to.
Boundaries a little bit? Yes.
Putting up that boundary.
You definitely have to have boundaries in this field, yes.
Now, going back to your wings,
I love this.
you could fly.
I want to fly.
Fly is like you on fly
Yeah,
and all
I want
that.
to fly. Make me fly.
But it's like,
Fix me.
and you're going to shoot this fly.
You're healed.
That's cool.
I do call in. I have like a routine. I do call in like angels and archangels every day, like
okay.
because they say that they want to be acknowledged. So that is in my everyday practice. And I've been really praying to Metatron lately, which is one of really, really big archangels. So maybe they're here.
I don't know, but I see that. So if you pray about it, that's it. But then what? Okay, there's something I can say online, something I cannot.
Okay.
So let me go ahead with saying what I can say online. But from my perspective, from my school of thought, I believe that God is taking you a different route. Not different as per different, but different as per new.
Than where I think I'm going?
Than
Or
where
there's
you
a
are
transition.
going. Now you can interpret it the way you want to. Just because you're a person with a level of spiritual understanding, I would just throw it out, and if you want me to interpret that, I would. If not, you can do that yourself. I believe that God is bringing you to a different place.
Interesting. Not
Right?
death, right?
No, come on. A different place,
Like physically a different path.
spiritually mostly.
Interesting.
I think with the physical part, what you're doing right now, I would say you're called for this.
I love this. Spirituality and communication and music are my loves.
But I hope sponsors will hear this too, maybe. But there's something bigger than what you're doing right now, and
It's ready to come out.
And I feel like it's not clustered, but space is getting a little bit
uneasy.
Too yeah,
like it needs to happen.
I need a bigger space.
Amen.
Like,
that's so true.
I'm not sure if it's a bigger space as per physical, but I'm seeing this more of as bigger space as per spiritual.
Right. Not necessarily you're talking about this
Not
show.
this
right,
show,
but just
right?
where I'm going. I feel that. There's an uneasiness in me because I'm sort of almost feels like there's a waiting that I'm doing. And I don't know what it's for.
So if I was to say this from my school of thought, I would say you need an encounter with the Father to open, I think. And again, I'm using things just to create a safe culture.
CYA.
What I'm sensing, and I'll close up with this, what I'm sensing is the path that God is opening up for you is unseen to people around you or to places you are used to getting advice, counseling, or direction from. It's something new.
Interesting.
Right?
So
I love the way when you use the word interesting.
Yeah, like a
I think I know
physical
what you mean,
teacher,
but it
or
sounds
like you mean like just a different maybe path or like education of spirituality, or maybe a gift that's opening, or
Maybe. My only guess is and this is my school of thought, the only person who can reveal that to you is God himself. Now, that's my school of thought.
I love it.
Just saying. Yeah.
Wow. Well, thank you for that. And I mean, a lot of that resonates.
One good question, though. Do you like reptiles?
Reptiles?
Yeah, reptiles.
Like chameleons and alligators and
Chameleon,
lizards?
snakes.
Ugh.
Okay.
You know what's funny? I really wanted to buy a snake ring yesterday at this metaphysical store. And I didn't. And I've been thinking about this snake ring, and I should have bought it.
Okay.
Is that what you're picking up on?
Why? I was really picking up. That's why I asked Delivery for snake.
I don't like seeing them. The energy of them for me is transformation.
Okay. Wow. Okay. Well, they just let that go.
Was that not what you're picking
I
up
had
on?
a different interpretation of that.
Oh, like in a bad way?
No. It's like getting used to, God help me. It's not like a trauma, but it's like getting used to something you do not like. And the first thing I saw was a snake.
Is a part of where I'm going?
I think it's more of a symbolic thing. I think it's more of where from my school of thought, where God is moving you to. It's definitely not an easy path.
More?
It's going to be something, not say you detest, but you don't really like, but you adapt to it. And the first thing I saw was a snake. So, and this is it. The fact that I saw a snake makes more sense to you than me who is seeing a snake.
Yeah, for me, it's transformation.
Yeah, okay,
that's the first word that I always think is transformation. Like
again,
shedding your skin, like new beginnings. That's what
everything about any animal or anything I see in the spiritual realm, it has a good meaning. So
right, okay,
and for me now, I don't understand what it means. I just had the hunch to say, okay,
Thank
snake,
you.
That's it. But then you have the interpretation. That's
well, the snake ring from yesterday, so I think that you're spot on. But yeah, it feels kind of good to me. I don't want to see a snake, in person, but the energy of them, I feel like is transformation.
Okay, well, thank you. So, well, thank you for that, and that's it. But the other part of it, I'll tell you personal, not online.
Is it bad? You can
No, it's just I don't feel comfortable saying it.
Okay.
Live.
I appreciate your discretion.
Yeah.
Okay, so how can people find you? Let's go there before we close.
Okay, so man, we were closing. I just thought we just started.
I know, right? It's time flies when you're having fun.
No, so funny enough, right? Most of my ministry online is more for the Slavic than the English speaking.
Are you serious? That's hysterical.
I'm called to the Slavics.
Really?
Yeah. So I do a lot of content.
Do you speak it?
Oh yeah.
Oh wow. Is that what you speak in Russia?
Oh yeah.
God, I sound real smart today.
Slavic is most of the former Soviet Union countries. So Russia, Ukraine, Belarus,
right.
all that. So
okay.
But
so if anyone has
But so my ministry mostly online is for the Slavic nations.
Interesting.
First. And then I have it in English. So if you
can't you use like ChatGPT to like translate it or something in English?
You can, that's fine. Yeah.
But then your mouth goes different. And then,
I'm on Instagram.
Okay. So you have a YouTube channel?
Yeah, I have a YouTube channel.
What is it?
It's Abdul Proboga. Proboga. What it means is Proboga. It means Abdul for God.
I love it. And what's your social media? Your Instagram?
The same thing.
Okay.
But my personal social media where I just share live, just doing live, is Black Mombazo.
Got it. Okay. So anybody out there that's interested in learning more about you, we definitely talked a lot about a lot of things.
I feel like we didn't need to talk about anything. We just really pitched on every part of it, but which is interesting.
We hit the tip of a lot of icebergs. Well, thank you for what you're doing, and thank you for what you're doing in the world, and for your connection.
I appreciate it. Thank you for having me.
Yeah. Thanks everybody for watching. We'll see you next time.
Bye.